The Aerospace BAC Concorde is a British-French turbojet-powered supersonic passenger airliner that was operated until 2003. It had a maximum speed of over twice the speed of sound at Mach 2.4, 1,354 miles per hour, or 2,180 kilometers an hour at cruise altitude, with seating for 92 to 128 passengers. First flown in 1969, the Concorde entered service in 1976 and operated for 27 years. It is one of the only two supersonic transports that have been operated commercially. Other is the Soviet-built Tupolev Tu-144, which operated in the late 1970s. Concorde was jointly developed and manufactured by Sud Aviation, later Aerospace, and the British Aircraft Corporation BAC under an Anglo-French treaty. 20 aircraft were built, including 6 prototypes and a development aircraft. Air France and British Airways were the only airlines to purchase and fly the Concorde. The aircraft was used mainly by the wealthy passengers who can afford to pay a high price in exchange for the aircraft's speed and luxury service. For example, in 1997, the round-trip ticket price from New York to London was $7,995, equivalent to $12,700 in 2019, more than 30 times the cost of the cheapest option to fly this route. The original program's cost estimate was 70 million euros. The program experienced huge. The overruns and delays with the program eventually costing 1.3 billion euros. It was an extreme cost that became the main factor in the production run being much smaller than anticipated. Later, another factor which affected the visibility of all supersonic transport programs was that supersonic flight could be used only on ocean crossing routes to prevent sonic boom disturbance over populated areas, with only 7 airframes each being operated by the British and the French. The per unit cost was impossible to recoup, so the French and British governments absorbed the development costs. British Airways and Air France were able to operate Concorde at a profit, in spite of very high maintenance costs, because the aircraft was able to sustain a high ticket price. Among other destinations, Concorde flew regular transatlantic flights from London's Heathrow Airport and Paris's Charles de Gaulle Airport to John F. Kennedy International Airport. Washington Dulles International Airport in Virginia, and Grantley Adams International Airport in Barbados. It flew these routes in less than half the time of other airlines. Concorde won the 2006 Great British Design Quest, organized by the BBC and the Design Museum of London, beating other well-known designs such as the BMC Mini, the Mini Skirt, and the Jaguar E-Type, the London Tubap, and the Supermarine Spitfire. The type was retired in 2003, 3 years after the crash of Air France 4590, which all passengers and crew were killed. The general downturn of commercial aviation industry after September 11 attacks in 2001, and the end of maintenance support for the Concorde by Airbus, the successor company of Aerospace, also contributed to the retirement. France, flying it from Paris, top speed 1,354 miles an hour, cruise speed 1,341 miles per hour. Range, 4,505 miles. First flight, March 2nd, 1969. Engine type, Rolls-Royce Cinematica Olympus 593. Manufacturers, Airbus, Aerospace BAE Systems, Sud Aviation, British Aerospace, British Aircraft Corporation.